children require more than your money. They require more than what you can buy them. They require your emotional maturity, your mental maturity, your time, your effort, your compassion, your understanding. Children require one-on-one time. They require bonding. They require you to spend time with them, processing their emotions, their habits. They're sponges. They pick up on everything that they see around them. They pick up on what their parents do. Their parents are their first programmers. Everything that they learn, the way they interact, the way they handle emotions, the way they handle other human beings, it's all based on their parents, their upbringing, their family, the way they handle relationships, the way they handle the opposite sex. Everything is based off of what they see from their parents, whether their parents are together or apart. It doesn't matter. Like, they process everything through the lenses of their parents, seeing their parents, and how their parents handle things. And your children are often your mirrors. Your partners are your mirrors, but your children are your mirrors. They teach you things. Anyone could be a teacher or student. We all have something to learn from each other and to teach each other. And your children are your biggest teachers because they're a part of you. And anything that's unhealed within you can easily show up within that child. So it's important that people take the time to understand their children, to spend time with their children, but also to spend time with themselves before they have kids. And if you already have children and you have work to do, then you need to do that work, because what you don't realize is you avoiding your own healing work and your own growth as a soul level will affect your children. It becomes a generational curse. It becomes a generational cycle, because they're going to pick up on what you didn't finish and what you didn't handle. And then it'll be theirs to kind of release, especially if it's something that'll affect them, So whether you're a single parent or whether it's a two-parent household, and what I've learned is just because it's a two-parent household doesn't mean that it's healthy. Side note, whether you're a single parent or not, how you show up for yourself and how you show up in the world and how you cope with life and its ups and downs and the way you interact with others, it affects your children. It affects them. It affects them and how they interact with others and the way they see relationships in the long term. It affects with the way they have friends and the way they deal with kids at school, everything. So just pay attention to that. Be mindful of that. If they're used to seeing their parents argue and be chaotic, they're going to think that's normal. If they're used to abuse, they're going to think that's normal. If they're used to substance abuse happening within the home, they're going to think that's normal, And what you do, they feel like, okay, then that's normal. So they'll tolerate that from a potential partner in the future. Or they'll think that that's just the way you handle things. So just be mindful of that, you guys. And your children, 222 on the clock as I'm saying this, your children, they need a safe space. They need to feel that mommy or daddy or mommy and daddy are safe spaces for them to go to. That they can go to you for anything, with anything, that they can share anything with you and that they'll be safe. You're supposed to be their safety. And that's an important message here, because a lot of times people think that because they're parents, they're supposed to instill fear into their children. You're supposed to instill safety into your children, not fear. Somehow that got lost in the sauce. I can tell you what I think, but that's a whole nother situation, of why that happened. But you're not supposed to be your child's bully or villain. You're supposed to be their mentor, their leader, their teacher, their guide, you know? And in return, they'll have things to teach you, and they'll be mirrors to things that you still have to heal and work on within yourself. But usually your children can end up being your biggest heroes. They'll teach you a lot. They'll save you from different, paths you could have taken in life, because when you have a child, you're forced to kind of step up to the plate. But be there for your children as much as you can. And what I mean by that is listen to them, talk to them, be honest with them. Share with them where you feel like you have to grow, or you have to learn to work on and deal with. Be real with them. And stop handing kids so much technology. Stop handing things over to them for them to be distracted, or, when parents give their kids iPhones and these tablets for them to focus on, so that they're not being bothered. That's not healthy. Like, I see that so many times, or it's like, just give them this so that they'll be distracted and they'll be focused on that. Spend time with your kids. You had them. You created them. Spend time with them. Get to know them. Get to know how they process things. Have normal interactions with them. Play board games with them. See how they feel about winning and how they feel about losing. There's so many different things that I think this generation is missing with parenthood because of technology and fast-paced living. But ultimately, you created them. Get to know them. They're growing. They're constantly growing and changing. And it's important that you treat them with respect, and you build strong bonds with them. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, life is short, and that's what they'll remember. They'll remember how much mommy and daddy took the time to spend with them, or how the values that you instilled in them, the morals that you instilled within them. And, like I said, life is short. Spend time with your kids. You don't know how long you'll have them. We don't belong to anyone, So spend time with your kids. That's what I have to say. Get to know them. It'll affect them in the long run. And be that positive role model that you would have wanted as a kid. Like, don't repeat the generational curse and cycles that your parents, played out with you, that you didn't, relate to or didn't like. Do something different. Do something different. Be different. And look at it as a legacy. Like, okay, if I instill this in them, they'll carry this, This is how they're going to see things. So that's what I have to share, y'all. I love you guys. The kids are the future. So just, if you're not ready to do that work, don't have kids. Because it's more than being able to provide for them. It's more than handing them an iPad and telling them, to watch this or do this. It's more than dressing them up nicely, It's a long-term investment, and it's a long-term commitment to another living being, an individual that is a part of you. It's one of the biggest soul contracts you can have, is being a parent, or and bringing life into this world. So think about it before you invest into it. And when you do invest into it, or if you have invested in it, take the time to see where you can grow as a parent and evolve as a parent and as an individual.